Drake.
Many thanks to Leandro Trossard. His contract's up at the end of the season. There's one of those options to extend. I think at the club's discretion, they should probably be doing all they can to tie him down.
Yeah, I think that will be done very soon. They'll be extending it for sure. Yeah,
absolutely, no doubt. He's become the star man there. I mean, the way he's performing this season, it's magical.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's perfect for the way that they are playing. Now he's in the better positions. He's playing a lot more through the middle. He's in central areas where he can score more goals, which is one of the things that I think he wanted to do himself. I'm sure the manager wants him to score more goals as well, but that's something that he's added to his game more regularly. And for the team, you see him winning the ball back high up. He's pressing his energy levels, his ability to keep going in games. I think that adds massive value to the team.
Yeah, you know, he's scored 7 goals this season now, which is a great start to the season, considering we're only just approaching the end of October. Brighton, I think their next couple of games are against Wolves and I think it's another struggling side. Yeah, Villa. So, you know, Brighton are now suddenly in a really nice position off the back of some good performances that haven't picked up points, but a great performance today that's given them a win and deserved his first
tough
win.
Games as well.
Yeah,
they played the big boys as well.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of goals against the big boys now. Let's not forget a trip to Anfield and you get the hat-trick there. Yeah. Amazing stuff. Stuff of dreams, really. In terms of the surprise package of the season, I wouldn't say Haaland has been a surprise package. I think he's exceeded expectations, the amount of goals he has. Harry Kane is right up there in terms of the goal-scoring charts, as he always seems to be. He's in double figures. But Trossard, Almiron, he got another goal today. I mean, it's a toss-up for me between those two as being the surprise packages of the season so far.
Definitely. I think there's no coming away from, you know, Trossard's having a fantastic... And it's the teams he's played against as well. You know, we mentioned before about they've had a tough run the last sort of 4 or 5 games, but they've played Liverpool, they played Man City,
today Chelsea.
And then today Chelsea. I think they played Spurs as well.
Yep.
So it's a tough run of games, and to be scoring that many goals against, you know, really good opposition, it shows what a good player he is.
Surprise package, him or Almiron for you this season?
Well, I think Almiron, for me, prior to this season, has been underwhelming. So I think the biggest turnaround is Almiron, personally. You know, I think Trossard has played really well for Brighton since he's been at the club without adding the goals, and he's now started to add them. Having said that, you know, Almiron was playing in a Newcastle side that had been struggling under, you know, some defence-minded coaches as well.
Yep.
So I think probably I'd give the tick there to Almiron just.
Yeah. Well, they're both on 7 goals, identical amount so far. Only Haaland, Kane, Mitrovic, forgot him for a second. Mitrovic has got 9 goals, and Ivan Toney have scored more than the 2 players we're discussing right here. Let's talk a little bit about Chelsea. I know that you can't stay unbeaten forever, but it seems to be such a demoralising defeat today. The nature of it, to concede so early, to be 3-0 down at the break, and against Graham Potter's former side. And let's not forget Mark Cucurella's former side too.
Definitely, and he unfortunately did not have a good game. Solly March had the beating of him so many times, especially in that first half. And you know, you can talk about everything else, but you want to go back and play against your old side, and you want to do well, you want to win. And he will come away. I mean, he came off, and he'll be probably delighted to have come off because he was getting booed every time he touched the ball. You know, for Graham Potter, it's hugely disappointing. You know, that he wanted to go back and perform and show everyone, but they just weren't as good as Brighton today. They didn't show the same commitment. They had some chances and they should have potentially scored more, but Brighton fully deserved the win.
Yeah, I want to look at the chances, Chelsea's chances as well, before you say anything, Gary, but go on, sorry.
No, all I was going to say was that I thought Graham Potter conducted himself really well today. You know, he stood on the touchline all the game and took the flak. You know, here's a couple of examples of opportunities for Chelsea. This is Gallagher again, and Sanchez making a wonderful save at full stretch to tip it round and concede the corner. You know, Havertz here in this situation, you know, watch this left-footed touch.
He had a few of them today, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, he's a very good player. Probably could have got his shot off a little bit earlier. But again, Sanchez got his angles completely right for Brighton. So, you know, there was some cutting edge about Chelsea. But this is Aubameyang after he came on as a second-half substitute. Easy for Sanchez, or relatively easy as well. But I don't know, there was just... You just never felt that Chelsea were going to be clinical in front of goal. They just weren't.
For most of those chances that we're looking at now, they're very speculative. They're very long range. It's
well, that's a good opportunity.
That's a good
Havertz.
opportunity. Yeah,
it is a good opportunity, and it's, you know, it's on his left foot, which is normally technically very good. You know, sometimes it happens. You know, I was really tempted before the game to say, you know, De Zerbi's been at Brighton for 5 games, not won. Graham Potter, who had a great start to the season with Brighton, has been 9 games unbeaten with Chelsea. Yeah, we know what's going to happen, don't we? But, well, I just couldn't say it, to be honest with you. You know, I wanted Brighton to win because it's my old club. But, you know, there was the situation with the football gods that if Brighton were going to pick up their first ever top-flight victory against Chelsea, it was going to be today. But I think overall... Brighton surprised me, how good they were, and Chelsea also surprised me, but how disjointed they were.
You know, Gary, earlier on we were doing Leicester's game against Man City, and you said the players have to be brave. You should have been brave with your prediction.
Yeah, no,
100%.
100%.
That's what should have happened. Practice what you preach.
Yeah, I know.
I'll remember this conversation.
I'll write my lines.
OK, I'll remember this for the next round. I got to also ask, though, when it comes to scoring goals, Chelsea have not been particularly fluid, and it's been like this for a while. It's nothing new to Graham Potter. It's something which Tuchel suffered, and there's that alleged curse for anybody who wears the number 9 jersey, and it's been like that for a while, and you think of how many strikers have failed at Chelsea Football Club, and I know they've won trophies since Champions League, in the biggest of them. Do you think they're going to go out and try to buy a new striker?
I mean, what club doesn't want to go out and, well, maybe City actually, but want to go out and get a new striker, someone that's going to score goals? Every team wants a centre forward that's scoring goals. Chelsea, it's not that they are creating opportunities. They may not be, you know, standout chances, but they are creating opportunities to score. I think it's just going to take a little bit longer for Potter to... Because we were trying to work out, you know, exactly the shape and how many were playing here and that, but he manipulates the team all the time. They're free-flowing, they change, interact everywhere. Loftus-Cheek played about 3 or 4 different positions today, but sometimes you just need a little bit of structure and you need a little bit of something to work out exactly where the ball's, if the ball's on the right, where do you want your centre forward, where do you want your left wing or someone to tuck in to have that, if the cross is coming, where should you be? I think that's just where they are at the moment. They're still in the process of sorting all of that out, and they changes the team quite a lot as well because of competitions and the amount of fixtures. So it's just going to take a little bit more time. I wing or someone to tuck in to have that, if the cross is coming, where should you be? I think that's just where they are at the moment. They're still in the process of sorting all of that out, and they changes the team quite a lot as well because of competitions and the amount of fixtures. So it's just going to take a little bit more time.
I think it's all very well to have a very fluid formation that, you know, when you got a back 4, you very easily shift into like a pushed on right back, and the other 3 come across, so suddenly you're playing with a back 3 with an advanced right back. I just think that when it's not going your way, you need to get back to a base position, which is, you know, it's 4-4-2, it's 4-3-3, whatever it is, but you need a base to come back to. And talking about the goalkeepers union, as you've done a few times, I think that's absolutely key with goalkeepers. You know, when they're having a difficult time, they just have to go back to the real basics. But with the modern game, the coaches still want them to play out from the back. So, you know, we saw earlier with Mendy, when he tried to pass the ball out to the right back and it got intercepted, it was tight. And for me, the basics are you hit somebody wide right up the park. You don't try and play out from the back because you've come on as a sub and it's all a little bit difficult for you. You go back to the basics. And I think that's my feeling with Chelsea today. It wasn't really going their way, but where was their base position that they could steady the ship and then start to get back into the game?
Yeah, but again, I want to get that topic of goals. It's the hardest thing to do in football, I believe, scoring goals. But you could say that they find a stable shape, a stable starting 11. There's been a lot of changes in the Graham Potter, like you rightly pointed out. But do you think there's someone there that's screaming at you that's going to get 20 league goals in a season? Is there or not?
For me at the moment, just the way that they are, I wouldn't say there's someone there that's going to get you 20. No. I think there could be 3 or 4 players that could get you 10, potentially. I think they're going to have to spread their goals around the team rather than having that one focal point.
Like City last year?
Like City, yeah. I mean, you know, everyone would like to play like City. They are expansive and free-flowing, but they all know where they're going and how the team is functioning.
Yeah.
I think that's only the slight difference at the moment with Chelsea. I think at the moment they're just still trying to work out where I should be, what should I do, where should we be running, are we keeping the ball, are we counter-attacking, are we not, are we playing a bit more possession? I think that's just at the moment they're just trying to work it out, and it's really hard because there's so many games and they've got to compete with Cup, they've got to compete with Champions League, so they're changing players, formations all of the time to combat that.
Yeah, I think a good example of one individual, and Matt and I spoke about this when we were watching the game, and that's Raheem Sterling. So for me, when he was at Manchester City, he had a fairly defined role within the team, dependent upon exactly where he was playing. You know, quite choreographed by Pep. You know, when we're here, you do that, and it really was quite fixed in a solid template. Now he's at Chelsea. Actually, he's a bit freer, and now he has to make the decisions a little bit more. And I thought Sterling overall, for a player with his abilities, was disappointing today.
Well, I believe the Chelsea fans have been disappointed with Sterling since he joined the club. It's nothing new today, and it's
no, not for Chelsea. But so what I'm saying was, when he was at Manchester City, within a framework that is a little bit more organised and solid. You know, they play wonderful football, Man City, but they play very organised football.
Sorry, I mean the Chelsea fans have been disappointed since Sterling joined their club. There hasn't been a performance that makes you sit up and say, wow, Raheem Sterling.
Well, he's their top goal scorer, I think.
For now.
But it's only with 3.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And again, that's the question about finding a goal scorer. I know Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is there, but he's in and out of the starting 11, and he's not getting any younger either, let's be honest. I don't know, I'm just thinking Ronaldo again, because he was linked in the summer, wasn't he? Todd Bowley, the new owner, seemed to have an
one thing
interest.
for Chelsea, if you're saying about this, they don't, you know, they had that one chance today where they put the cross in and Havertz scored. They don't necessarily put crosses in the box, because Havertz is the only one really that's in the box ready for the cross to come in.
Is Ronaldo as a goal scorer a step up of Havertz?
As a goal scorer and putting the crosses in, but they don't. They get it wide, they come back, they go inside, they play inside. It's not get it wide, put the cross in. That's not the way that Chelsea play at the moment. So if you do get Ronaldo, you have to do that. So it will be again a change of system, change of ideas and structure in that team.
Yeah, I think there must be a temptation from Chelsea's point of view to look at Ronaldo. Yeah, for sure.
The ownership want a marquee player, I believe, and well, there's not many bigger marquee signings than Cristiano Ronaldo, and he gets Champions League football in return as well. Even if he is a squad player, and maybe he's just using Europe. I don't know, but it could work. Maybe. You don't seem convinced.
I just don't know. I think it would have to change a lot of the way that, as I said, that they need to be putting crosses in the box, otherwise Ronaldo's useless. You know, you need that product for him to go on to get the end of the cross, and if they're not putting cross in and they're tippy tappy, that's why they do that, because they haven't had a recognised centre forward for a while. Like, they've played with a false 9, they played with Havertz, they played. But maybe they do need it.
But maybe it means they need to shake things up a bit. I know he won't fit a Potter system, not from what I've seen anyway, but were they competitive last year?
You're pushing it anyway.
Yeah, well, I know they were competitive last year because they got to some cup finals, didn't they? Yeah. But they lacked that cutting edge
they did,
against Liverpool on 2 occasions.
If you're going to put the ball in the box, then for goal scoring, there's not much better than Ronaldo.
Yeah, I think, as I said a moment ago, I think there must be a temptation there. But it's like everything, isn't it? You know, you bring Ronaldo in, for example, to Chelsea. You know, where does it, or what does it tip in the wrong direction somewhere else within the club, within the group? You know, there's been you know, a lot of talk that Ronaldo, and I think rightly so, Ronaldo's been a bit disruptive at Manchester United this season, hasn't he? You know, does he go in to Chelsea if that happens and become slightly disruptive there as well? I think it's like everything, isn't it? Recruitment. It's a difficult one, and to get it right is, you know, not easy.
Harry Kane's name was linked as well, but obviously the rivalry between Spurs and Chelsea, it's a bit harder to see that happening.
Yeah, I can't see that one, to be honest. I think at the moment, you know, Harry Kane's fully committed to what he's, you know, the project, I suppose, at Tottenham, but you never know what might happen there with Conte and the performances. Obviously, they've come back today and got a vital win, which, you know, from 2-0 down was impressive. So there's that, but he's sort of focused on playing for Spurs at the moment, I think.
Well, it's just that I'm asking this now, and I know it's still October, but we're going to be breaking for the World Cup very soon. And then there's 6 weeks of no Premier League football, and then there's, 1-2 games, and suddenly the January transfer window is open. It's really going to be...
Well, it's open
faster
for someone to do extremely well in the World Cup to get themselves a move somewhere.
Possibly.
I think that's an option.
Mid-season as well, which will be a first for all of us. Anyway, gentlemen, let's go back once again. We heard from Leandro Trossard. How about Graham Potter? Take a listen.
Graham, is that the nightmare return for you?
Yeah, well, yes, of course. The scoreline and the defeat is a painful one. We suffered at the start of the game, couldn't really recover. We had some opportunities ourselves in the first half, but once the crowd was so engaged and so up for the match, it was a difficult one for us. Scoreline was painful, certainly at half time. We responded a little bit second half. I think you have to say overall credit to and congratulations to Brighton. They played a good game and did what they did well, especially first half.
Is there anything worse for a manager than avoidable goals? All four were that, weren't they?
Well, you can always look at goals and think that you could do better. I think overall we have to take responsibility a little bit for the first half. Like I said, the intensity was strong. We couldn't quite get there. The boys have had a lot of football, and you know, although that's not an excuse and it's not anything to take away from Brighton, they did well. I know the quality they have. And we couldn't quite get to the levels. I think touches in the box were pretty much similar in the first half, but we were 3-0 down. And we had some opportunities ourselves to score an attack and didn't quite take the opportunity, and they did.
You like to tinker with the system, and most of the time you have good reason for that. Could you have changed that earlier today?
Quite possibly. We had some opportunities. Like I said, we had some opportunities ourselves to attack them, but unfortunately we missed the pass, or we didn't execute, and then the scoreline was a painful one for us. So always when you lose, there's always something that you can do better.
What were the emotions, Graham? Be honest, coming back here, and did you expect that kind of reception? There were a lot of boos.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, I've got nothing to apologise for. I've got nothing to say sorry for. I think I did a good job at the club, and I think I left it in a good place. As you can see today, it's a good team with a lot of good players and a lot of money in the bank. But people are entitled to their opinions.
Unbeaten run comes to an end. It's been a fantastic start, but I guess it's the manner that this has come to an end, and you're going to have to pick those boys up quickly.
Yeah, but it's part of the process. You know, you have to suffer. You have to feel pain in order to grow and get better. No one said that we were the finished article, nowhere near. So we have to take the pain of today and learn from it.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you.
Many thanks there to Graham Potter, and answering questions about his previous job. I think what he said was perfectly fair. Took them to the highest place finish in the Premier League previously before he left the club. It's a great achievement.
Yeah, I think Gary said earlier, he handled himself very well. He was getting a lot of chance and everything during the whole game. He stood there, he took it all, and he spoke really well. And fair play. You can say that he's done an exceptional job for them. He's left them in a good position, and he put money in the bank. So, fair play to him. I can't see he's done anything wrong.